You know what's worse than being lied to? Lying to yourself. Over and over again. Every time you say you'll do something and don't, you chip away at your own trust. And that's why so many people struggle to feel confident. Not because they can't, but because deep down, they don't trust themselves to keep promises. We'll talk about how to rebuild that trust. Not through some big, dramatic life change, but through tiny daily habits that slowly teach your brain, I can count on me. By the end, you'll know exactly how to start building real confidence, the kind that sticks, and how to make it a natural part of your life without forcing it. If you've ever promised yourself you'd start waking up earlier, eat healthier, stop scrolling before bed, and then didn't, you know that small disappointments you feel afterward? That's self-trust fading. Every time we break a promise to ourselves, it's like making a withdrawal from the trust bank. Do it enough times, and eventually there's nothing left. The problem isn't discipline, it's belief. You stop believing that you'll follow through, and that's what makes it harder to even start. The truth most never realize is that self-trust isn't built in one moment of success. It's built in the small, boring, invisible decisions you make every single day. It's not about being perfect, but being consistent. You don't have to run 5 miles tomorrow or quit every bad habit overnight. You just have to start keeping small promises to yourself again. And that is where daily habits come in. Starting with the idea that self-trust is built the same way relationships are built, through repeated reliability. Imagine a friend who says they will meet you for coffee every week, but cancels every time. After a while, you stop believing them, right? Now imagine that same friend always shows up, even if they are late. Over time, you trust them because their actions match their words. That's what we have to relearn with ourselves. Let's look at 5 daily habits that slowly build inner trust. 1. One small promise rule. Every morning, before you check your phone, make one tiny promise to yourself. Something small enough that you know you will do it. It could be drink a full glass of water after brushing your teeth. Take a 5-minute walk outside. Make your bed. Write down one thing you are grateful for. The point isn't the action itself, but to prove you follow through with what you say and slowly rewire your brain. Do it for 30 days and you will notice your confidence rising and believing in yourself. 2. Keep a promise tracker. Creating a promise tracker will help you visualize it. You can use anything from notebook to a phone app. Every time you keep your promises, document it. For example, went for a walk, or did 10 minutes of reading. The growing list of your own reliability will change the way you see yourself. You stop saying, "I never stick with anything," and start saying, "Look what I actually did." 3. Make it hard to break promises. Sometimes we fail because our environment makes it too easy to quit. James Clear, in Atomic Habits, says it best. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. That means it's not about how motivated you are, it's about how your surroundings are designed. If you want to trust yourself to work out, set your gym clothes out the night before. If you want to eat healthier, make sure the healthy food is the first thing you see when you open the fridge. If you want to stop doom scrolling, put your phone in another room for 30 minutes. You don't need to be stronger, you just need to make quitting harder than continuing. That's how you make reliability your default, not your struggle. 4. You can't build trust with someone who never acknowledges effort, right? So why do we treat ourselves that way? When you do something you promised yourself, even if it's tiny, pause and give yourself credit. You don't have to throw a party, just mentally note it. Hey, I did what I said I'd do. That moment of recognition matters. Your brain releases dopamine, a reward chemical, and that tiny rush teaches your brain that keeping promises is good. And here's where Atomic Habits comes back in again. Clear talks about how every habit is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Each small win is you casting a vote for, "I'm the kind of person who follows through." That's how identity changes, not overnight, but vote by vote. 5. End the day with trust accounting. At night, instead of scrolling or worrying, take 2 minutes to reflect. What did I do today that I said I would? What's one small thing I'll do tomorrow that I know I can follow through on? You're teaching your brain consistency, not through pressure, but through pattern. And over time, this becomes your new normal. You stop being surprised when you follow through. You just expect it. That's what real self-trust feels like. Now, the challenge about building self-trust isn't the habit itself. It's facing the part of you that doesn't believe you'll actually change. You've probably failed before. You've said, "This time will be different," so many times that even you don't buy it anymore. That voice in your head says, "Why bother?" That voice is just data from your past. It's evidence of who you were, not who you're becoming. The only way to rewrite that story is through action. You can't just think your way into self-trust. You have to prove it to yourself every day. Not necessarily through giant leaps, but small, repeatable steps that tell your brain, "See, I did it again." You essentially override doubt, not by arguing with it, but by outlasting it. Good example is someone who wants to start journaling every day to get anxiety under control. They may have tried before but always quit after a week. This time they decide to do it differently. Instead of writing a full page, they start with one sentence each night. On nights they didn't feel like it, they thought, "I can write one sentence." After a month of consistency, sentences turn into paragraphs. After 3 months, journaling became automatic. After 6 months, it was part of their identity. Building self-trust one sentence at a time. Self-trust isn't about the size of your promise. It's about keeping it no matter how small. There is a reason this works on a psychological level. Our brains crave evidence. We don't believe things just because we say them. We believe them because we see them. Just saying, "I'm confident," your brain doesn't buy it. But when you do small things that reflect confidence, like speaking up once, showing up once, finishing one tiny task, your brain starts collecting proof. Over time, that proof becomes belief. Daily habits matter. They're physical proof that you can rely on yourself. Realistically, you'll have off days. There will be mornings you hit snooze, nights you skip your routine, moments you fall short. Difference is, you don't let one broken promise become proof of failure. It's seen as feedback. Forgive yourself quickly. Adjust fast. Keep moving. The key moment that shifts everything is when you stop waiting to feel confident and start acting like someone you can count on. Confidence won't come by hyping yourself up. You have to have self-respect. And that comes from doing what you say, even when nobody's watching. When you start keeping promises to yourself, you won't need external validation or constant motivation anymore. You become your own source of stability. And that's real power. Start today. Pick one promise so small it feels silly. Do it, not to impress anyone, but to rebuild your relationship with yourself. Because when you trust yourself, you can do anything.